this story is very disturbing.
2 young children left chained up, injured, and alone.
You still see some of that pattern bruising across her body?
Correct. I wouldn't call them bruising, I would call them scars.
Detectives found out the 3- and 4-year-olds suffered numerous beatings with a switch or tree branch by their mother, 30-year-old Cheryl Reed. They arrested her last night.
Simply not care that it's okay to tie a 4-year-old down to the ground like he's some sort of rabid dog.
Do you have anything to say, Mr. Gorge?
Yes, Jesus loves you. That's why I tell you so. Little one can be wrong. They worry, but he is strong.
All right.
Meet Josiah, Naomi, and 18-month-old Matthew. LaKenya and Alan Shaw at the center of this courtroom celebration. This adoption becoming final on Alan's birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Daddy.
These 3 presents are what he and his wife say they've been praying for. From no children to 3 in the swipe of a judge's pen.
Your thoughts, your emotions right now.
Like, it's finished. And I'm excited, and I'm just like ready to close this chapter and go into our new chapter in life with these kids. And it's just overwhelming right now.
What were your emotions when you got off the elevator and you walked into this courtroom?
Today's the day. Just today is the day that we finish this chapter. That's just it. I mean, just excited.
What were your emotions when you first heard what these kids have been through, and then when you first met them?
Well, honestly, I was a little upset, and I didn't understand how anybody could do something like that to a child, and just hurt, grieved in my spirit. And when I met them, I just thought, beautiful children, who could do it, but I felt an overwhelming love inside for them and a desire to just hug and kiss on them and keep them.
Is there any doubt in your mind that this is a God thing?
Oh, this is absolutely a God thing. The story is just so big, I can't tell it all just talking to you right now.
Yeah. What are your emotions right now? I mean, this is a big day.
You know, so many people thought or said we wouldn't get to this point, and I'm just celebrating the victory that Jesus has given us today. And I'm excited, and I'm just ready to get home and love on these kids forever and ever and ever. Look, and here's my number one. Look.
All right,
Look.
will you come to me? Okay, you want to interview your mom? Interview
you
your
want to
mom
ask
for
me something, Dan?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Interview your mom for me. What would
you want to ask me?
Ask her something.
Can you polish my nails?
Absolutely. What color would you like?
Pink.
Of course, because pink is her favorite color.
Can you polish my nails? That's a hard-hitting
Yes,
question.
I know,
there.
but I can do that.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
So cute.
Thank you. You're cute too, baby. Look. You want all my attention. That's what you want. All right. Okay, but he's talking to us now, so we're going to have to finish this up at the house. You ready? I'm ready. I'm ready.
The macaroni again.
The which one?
The macaroni.
Microphone? We're going to have to buy you a microphone for home.
Something.
No, not
I might have to go out and buy like one of those Mr. Microphone things. So
she loves the mic.
You've been through the process right now. What would you say to people who are thinking about adopting?
I think it's worth doing, absolutely. There's so many children that are in the system that need people that truly love them, want to care for them and give them a safe place. And I just really am honored to be able to have done this for these children, to give them a safe place and a place where they know they can lay their heads down and not worry about having the problems that they had before.
Is the reason you wanted the cameras here to show there's another side of this story?
Oh. There's another side of this story, but I think that the kids, people need to know, all these people that have been praying for these children through this process, how beautiful and full of life they are. They're doing wonderful. They're on their way to a beautiful place. They're doing great. They're not the same kids when they first came into the system. But I think it's owed to the people that have prayed to see these beautiful kids. Ain't they beautiful?
Absolutely.
It's absolutely beautiful.
What were you thinking when you saw them up there singing?
Just now?
Yeah.
They sing at the house all the time. Look, I was thinking, stop, Naomi, that's enough. Get the mic from Naomi, please. No. But I was just thinking, they're living the best life that they ever lived. And I'm just glad that they're able to be here and to enjoy a moment like this and be able to sing on the mic. And people celebrate them.
And for you personally, the struggles you've been through to come to this place, what does that mean?
There's no words, man. There's just not words. It just feels really good to be on the other side. It feels really good to be on the other side. I'm sorry, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
But yeah, we've all come a long way together. And so these babies, they're purpose for me and I'm purpose for them. The daddy's purpose for them and same way, you know. So it feels good.
Thank you.
Feels real good.
Let me tell your story.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the need that's out there for people to step up and take care of children.
The need in our area alone, San Antonio, which has Bexar County, Comal County, Guadalupe County, Kendall County, we're called Region 8. We can run anywhere up to 3,500 kids in foster care in our area. There's not 3,500 homes for those kids. The need is great. We see every day CPS's emailing us, calling us, saying, please don't let these kids sleep in our office tonight. Please don't let us have to put this newborn baby in a shelter. Like, shelters are good, but they're for emergencies. Can we find a family for these kids? And oftentimes, we are saying no, everybody's saying no because the homes we do have are already full and they can't take anymore.
Do you think people don't realize that the need is out there, or do you think it's more a misunderstanding of what being a foster parent entails?
I think it's a combination. I think a lot of times people put on blinders and it's not happening at my job, or it's not happening in my street, it's not happening on my church pew, so it must not be as big a deal as what people say. And then I also think it is a really bad misconception of what it means to foster. And some people say, I couldn't do that because I wouldn't want those kids to go back home, or it would break my heart can't handle that. My coworker, Tiffany, tells people all the time, if it doesn't hurt when those kids leave, then you're not doing it right. I mean, we have to pour in love into them. And so it does hurt when those kids come and go sometimes, but if you can get past that and realize that you are providing a safe, loving, nurturing home for these children who have often not seen any of the above, then they are worth that hurt. They are worth investing into their lives. They are worth us teaching them, you are somebody, you have a voice, we love you. Here is what a life can look like outside of what you've already seen.
Is our area better, worse, the same than some of the other major metropolitan areas in Texas? I
think compared to Houston and Dallas, we are probably in that top 3 of worse as far as needing homes for kids. I mean, we are in an area that has a lot of drugs in it, and that sometimes, you know, causes even more abuse, more neglect than other areas. I-10 is a corridor for drugs and human trafficking. Not that this isn't an unsafe place. Well, I love this area, but that's the reality that we live in, is that we're just in an area that has lots of access to unsafe things for kids. And when kids are left in those homes where meth use or cocaine use is happening, then there's more unsafe people coming in. Therefore, you know, we tend to get more kids in those types of situations.
So there's your organization, the organization that was involved with these children that we're doing the story on were from the Bear Foundation. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of groups out there trying to help, trying to fill the gap. Is that how you would put it?
Yes, there are a lot of agencies in our area trying to figure out how to recruit more foster families, get more adoptive families. I mean, we can run as high as 5,000 kids ready for adoption here in Texas. That's a lot of kids. So we're constantly out there trying to find ways to get people involved, to get people to step out of their comfort zone. It's not easy either way, whether you're doing straight foster or foster to adopt or straight adopt. It's never an easy path, but we're always out there trying to recruit people, get people in. The agencies are working hard to really get quality people to become involved in this.
Is the story that we talked about, is this unusual, or is it just something that people don't see very often?
I actually had this conversation the minute this story hit the news, and people were calling us and they were, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe this happens. And I actually talked to my staff and my husband and I said, sadly, when this hit the news, I was like, another one. Here's another situation. It is not uncommon to have this type of abuse and neglect, and actually there's even worse cases that happen to kids. And over my 12 years of being in this field, I've seen even worse cases, and it's not uncommon. It's actually, in my world, norm. You know, when these emails come across our desk, this is kind of the scenario we see. Meth use in the home, broken femurs on babies, broken bones, you know, different, we've had scenarios where kids' esophaguses are torn because parents were shoving toothbrushes down their throat. This isn't a surprise. This case isn't a surprise to us who work this and are in the ground doing this work. This is another case where we are having to find a family who can say, we're going to look past all this pain and trauma and really love on these kids. I wish I could say that it was uncommon, but it is common.
How about the outcome? That they find a forever family?
Oh, that sometimes is the uncommon. This was a sibling group, and it's really hard to place single kids a lot of times, let alone a sibling group. I mean, there's just not homes who can often take 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes up to sibling groups of 7 I've seen. But even the sibling groups of 2, sometimes we're saying, you know, can you take one kid and this other one take other kids and just do visits as much as possible? And it's not that we ever want to do that, but the reality is there's just not enough space sometimes. And so even the sibling groups of 2 get split up and they never get to be brother and sisters again. And that's very important. Kids who have already lost everything, if they can keep their brothers and sisters, man, that's important for lifelong health, emotionally and mentally, spiritually and socially, to have that connection at least to their brothers and sisters. So this is pretty amazing to have this outcome.
What would you say to somebody out there, or what have you said to people who are thinking about fostering, adopting, foster to adopt, whatever they're thinking about?
I would say every kid is worth it. No matter where they're coming from, they didn't choose that. No baby woke up from the womb and said, I want to be born drug addicted. No 10-year-old said, I'd like to spend, you know, the next 3 or 4 years of my life being abused by my mom's boyfriend. You know, no sibling group ever said to each other, hey, this is fun, being starved every single day. They didn't ask for where they were brought into this world. They didn't ask to be in the situation they're in, but they are asking for love. They are asking for safety. And so they are worth it. They are precious. And you cannot be pro-life without realizing that there's life after birth. And so they are worth it. They're worth it stepping out there. And coming from that type of background, I can tell you that had somebody intervened, my life would have been very different for many, many years had somebody intervened a little bit earlier in my life and told me those things, that you're worth it, that you're loved, that you're precious, that you are not meant to be what you've been told that you are. And that's a lot of kids never hear positive things. And so is it tough? Yes. Is the paperwork terrible? Sometimes. But forever safety and love for kids, if you're adopting, I mean, you can't put a price tag on that.
Talk about what today means to you guys.
Today is an epiphany. Today is the fulfillment of a promise. Today just brings great joy. Glad to see it come to an end.
I saw you crying in the back.
Yes, sir.
Why the tears?
It's been a journey, a long journey. And to see these babies come from where they were to where they are now, I just became a bit overwhelmed at the moment. Yeah, but yes, it's been a remarkable journey.
Yeah, for you, Dan?
Yeah.
For me as well. I mean, these kids went through so much, and we've been doing this for years, and we've seen children from all walks of life, but we've never seen a case quite like this one. And so for what they went through, it's just a blessing to see that, I mean, they're getting what they deserve. A loving family, they're happy children, and they'll always be in our lives.
Always.
Because we fostered them for a while, and they call us Nanny and Poppy, and the Shaws are good friends of ours, so we're friends forever.
What would you say to somebody out there who's thinking about it?
The kids, they need love. We need homes. They just need people to love them. Just love on the babies.
Whether they're foster parents or adoptive parents, what they're doing is changing lives. And when you look at little Josiah and Matthew and Naomi, you realize what they're doing is much needed and worth it. That's it for this edition of Spriester Sessions.